Since they acquired property on Oak Island in 2006, brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their partners, have conducted a series of excavations in search of what is believed to be an extraordinary treasure. However, in addition to their own efforts, the team has also carefully studied the work of treasure hunters who came before them, and in 2015, one of their first large-scale operations was intended to find the remains of a long-lost searcher tunnel known as the Hedden Shaft, which was dug in the 1930s by a man named Gilbert Hedden. Marty, when Gilbert Hedden dug that shaft, he thought he was digging in the money pit, and he was that much closer to history than we are. So, we thought that by locating that accurately, digging down and finding the corners, it's another clue to pin down the money pit. Rick, oh, there's getting wood or dug. Gilbert Hedden never lost faith in his belief that something was buried on Oak Island. It's got to still be here in some way, shape, or form. Narrator, but who was Gilbert Hedden? Why is the shaft he excavated so significant? And what secrets did Hedden uncover that might help solve the Oak Island mystery? Doug. Of all the individuals interested in the Oak Island mystery, one of the most interesting groups are the Freemasons. So many of them have actually participated in efforts to solve the mystery, from Gilbert Hedden to Frederick Blair to Mel Chappell. These were all prominent Masons. And I think one of the reasons so many Freemasons are interested in the Oak Island mystery is the other inscribed stones on the island that have Masonic symbols, like the center dot circle and the 4-dot cross, the shape and design of the swamp with the all-seeing eye. I think they see so much from their own symbology and belief systems that they can't help but wonder who built the money pit. Why did they build the money pit? And was it somebody from within their own organization, perhaps? Narrator. The origins of Freemasonry date back to 17th century Europe, when intellectuals and great thinkers formed the secret society in order to pursue spiritual enlightenment. Goff. The Freemasons were a highly ritual-focused organization about the betterment of men. They use esoteric symbolism to veil their secrets. And guess what? Freemasonry appears to be not something new that vaporized out of thin air, but rather an extension of the Knights Templar. Lynn, obviously, an organization as powerful as the Knights Templar weren't simply gonna disappear on the official suppression like meek little boys. There's evidence that they went underground and emerged again in another form. Freemasonry. Because the Templars and the Freemasons certainly shared some obsessions. Both were very ancient traditions that were frowned upon in the mainstream and secret in their practices that would give them spiritual and material power. Narrator. If the Knights Templar did, in fact, bury treasure on Oak Island, then is it possible this secret knowledge was passed down when the Templars later evolved into the Freemasons? And if so, did Gilbert Hedden, just like the Freemasons who came before him, flock to Oak Island because he knew for certain that Templar treasure was hidden there? Perhaps a clue lies in the actions that Gilbert Hedden took when he ended his search on Oak Island in 1938. Doug. Gilbert Hedden never lost faith that something was buried on Oak Island. But as is the fate of so many other individuals in the past who have been pursuing the Oak Island treasure, he met with financial difficulties in his personal life, and this prevented him from pursuing the hunt at that time. So he leased out his right to hunt for treasure to Professor Irwin Hamilton. Charles. Gilbert Hedden handed all his work, including the structure that was still there, over to Professor Hamilton, who was going to carry on the search. They were brother Masons. And that may have had something to do with Hedden wanting Hamilton to continue the work that he started. Narrator. Did Gilbert Hedden specifically choose Irwin Hamilton because he was a fellow Freemason who, like Hedden himself, was well aware that the lost treasure of the Knights Templar had been buried on Oak Island? For further evidence to support this elaborate theory, some researchers point to Irwin Hamilton's communications with another prominent Freemason who also took a keen interest in Oak Island. The 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Charles. Franklin Delano Roosevelt came to Oak Island as a young lawyer and investor in 1909. Now, Professor Hamilton used to go to dinner with FDR, and they were good friends. and Gilbert Hedden and Professor Hamilton would send reports to FDR about what took place on Oak Island because all three of them were Freemasons. Narrator: were Gilbert Hedden, Irwin Hamilton, and President Roosevelt part of a Freemason attempt to recover the treasure of the Knights Templar? It's just one of many intriguing theories involving Hedden that the Oak Island team is actively investigating. Narrator: in the years since the Oak Island team rediscovered the Hedden shaft, they have conducted further excavations in that area, believing it to be close to the original money pit. Detector beeping: Gary, we have got a signal, mate. Narrator: and in 2020, while sifting through spoils collected from deep underground, they uncovered an intriguing artifact. Hey, Jack, check this out. Whoa, good find, Mike. Do you see that? It looks like it, might be pounded into an old rose head. Michael J. Exactly. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, narrator. The team determined that the small piece of metal was a hand-forged rosehead spike, which may predate the 1700s. This is the type of thing that we're looking for. I mean, that's another indication that humans were doing something a long time ago, deep in the money pit. Narrator: the spike was also significant because it appeared to be covered in cement, much like the mysterious artifacts unearthed back in 1897 that motivated Gilbert Hedden to dig in the same area. Are you ready to find some treasure? Always? Yep. Narrator: this discovery led the Oak Island team to conclude that they will need to keep digging near the Hedden shaft. Marty: so, where do you guys want to go? I want to go back over on the east side too. I think it's D11. And what I'm calling kind of the center of it. And it's outside of the Hedden shaft, Steve. So there's another piece of information that helps support this location. I mean, you know, we've done a bunch of water testing. We did have 3 wells very close to this proposed caisson location that did test for precious metals right in this area right here. I'm pretty sure that is centered around D11, isn't it, Craig? Right, Rick. Good location. That's most curious. If you had to pick a spot where the vault is that it? Craig: yeah, I would say so. Narrator: the fact that the team has detected traces of precious metals and recovered a metal spike near the Hedden shaft is proof that although Gilbert Hedden died in 1974 after failing in his effort to find the treasure, he nevertheless continues to loom large in the Oak Island mystery. Rick: we're here for 2 reasons. 1, to honor the people that have come before us, and also to try to solve the mystery. Gilbert Hedden was incredibly inventive in his approaches. We have intense respect for him as a human being and as a man and as a participant in the quest for answers here on Oak Island. Marty: look what he did. He stayed at it because he believed in it for whatever reason. I can absolutely identify in many ways with the previous searchers. The frustration. It's called the money pit. And so, I see my brother, who is absolutely in that same vein. You know, he's gonna stay with it until he figures it out. Rick: Gilbert Hedden was fascinated with the possibility that every bucketful, every shovelful, every ping of the metal detector, everything is an action that will lead to solving the mystery. Any activity that a human being endeavors to do, you'd better believe that every day you've done as much as you can do to prepare yourself for success. And it's all about faith, belief, and hope.